Yes, sir. Sorry, sir.
Why, hello! This is Loading Podcast, what are we up to? 16! And today with me I have... the Lucky Gamer.
Hi.
I have NuclearNatalie.
Hi.
And we also have today Lady Alvira. At this point in the show, she would say hello. But she has to use TTS. It did not
FUBAR,
work.
just a heads up on the description for the podcast. It says it's day 251 of October.
It does say 250. Well, let me... That was a typo, obviously. So, anyways, I have the side chat up just in case TTS didn't work, which it apparently didn't. I don't know why it didn't. But, hey, whatever. So, if I sound different, it's because I could not figure out what was going on with my microphone. I'll do that after the podcast. So, anyways, what have you guys been playing?
I guess I'll start.
Lady
I
Alvira
guess I'll
says quick
start.
test.
Oh, hey, shit, it worked.
Oh, there it is. Well, I've been playing a shit ton of Starbound.
Oh.
Lady Alvira said I had it disabled.
I cannot stress it enough.
Well, there you go. She's got audio now. But anyways, yes, Starbound.
Yeah.
What's it actually about? Am I right in thinking it's like Terraria?
We've never played Terraria, so how would that be a comparison for you?
Because I know of Terraria.
Oh, okay.
But I've never actually played it. I have it. I really should give it a go at some point. But
that's next year. Lucky.
Oh, okay, cool. My future's been decided.
No. Well, that's why I sent it to you so we could do it at some point.
True.
But that would probably be a next year thing because we already have a lot on our plate already.
We do. That we do.
So Wyatt, tell Lucky about Starbound since he doesn't know what it is.
Well, considering I was just playing it not even a few minutes ago. You are a lonesome creature of your choice out of a selection of few, unless you have mods.
What kind of creature? Are we talking like Spore or are we talking like Mass Effect?
Like Mass Effect. Space.
Okay, cool.
And you are sent to a planet, and, well, it first starts off I don't remember the intro, fuck. Anyway, starting mission is you go and explore to find these core fragments, which then lead you to a teleporter. And then the teleporter, wow, that's a word, sends you to the central hub, I guess you could call it. And the whole game is basically about just surviving while in space. There's a story to it. I'm not following it, though.
It's a lot about building and exploration.
Yeah.
Going from planet to planet, meeting the same alien species, and doing your best not to murder them.
Okay, right. Sounds interesting, I guess.
like I told Natalie, your mileage may vary. I mean, it is a lot of fun, but once you hit the end game, it kind of plateaus really hard.
I like that word, plateau.
That's a nice word.
Lady Alvira said is good word.
Yes, it is a good word.
It's like we've got Stephen Hawking. I love it. Oh, it catches me off guard. Sorry.
Okay.
Makes me giggle.
Why does TTS make you giggle?
It's just any talk to speak makes me giggle.
Well, I mean,
funny.
It's a way to have her be able to participate without actually having to talk.
I know. It's great. It's just like now if I ever try and put like a voice to her, it's just Stephen Hawking. It's rather interesting.
Well, that's probably more my fault than her fault because I'm set to my system defaults, which is apparently Microsoft SAM.
Oh, okay, fair enough then.
How would I know? There's no real way for me to test this shit, man.
Oh, dear. So have you just been playing Starbound?
I've been playing Starbound, and some more Starbound.
It sounds very, very.
I've been wasting my life. I've been wasting my life away.
I will say this about Starbound. It's one of those games that you start at like 5 in the afternoon, then all of a sudden you realize it's like 6 in the morning.
Oh
it's
no,
one of those things.
definitely.
Well,
I think my longest-
you try to go to like one more planet. Oh, I'm gonna try to get one more crew member so I can upgrade my ship. Oh, I'm just gonna do one more quest so that way maybe I'll get a new crew member. to
And your
upgrade my
day's
ship.
gone.
And it's already Thursday.
I think my longest play session so far has been 13 hours.
Bloody
Or
hell.
it's one of those things where it's okay. So you know how in Minecraft when you're like building a castle and then you kind of lose track of time.
Yeah.
Well, it's like that.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
You're trying to make like the perfect castle and you're just trying to get like the right block, but then you run out of the block, so then you have to go and get more of the block, but that like takes you like 4 hours.
Oh.
Not literally like 4 hours, but you get what I mean. You don't just stop at the one
Metaphorically.
block.
Yeah, it's a lengthy process.
It's a lengthy process because you do a little bit more than that.
Okay, fair enough then.
Fuck, that went down the wrong tube.
That's what she
Having a
said.
friend. Having a friend is definitely more fun.
Well,
I
yeah,
don't
'cause
know.
that's the same with any game, isn't it?
Well,
Yeah.
no, I have to disagree with you there. I mean,
Really?
Yeah. See, I find the multiplayer in Starbound a little shallow unless if you're running a server.
FUBAR's message of the day: who needs friends, right?
It's not so much that, but okay, so here's the thing about Starbound's multiplayer. When you're doing multiplayer, everything is on the host's local machine.
Lady Alvira
right.
said friends are overrated.
They can be. But no, so everything's hosted on the local world. So let's say you build like an awesome space station, and then you go join your friend's server. Guess what doesn't exist anymore?
The space
Yes.
station.
The space station. So that's why multiplayer, doing it locally is fine if you're like just doing, just helping a friend out. It's fine. Because your ship still exists in your world, and you can still access that, but anything that you've built on a planet doesn't. Welcome, Violation and Fireside. Where was I? So basically, if you really want to do Starbound multiplayer, it's just better to do it as a server. Because that
Yeah,
way,
I
as a
guess.
server, let's say I want to make shit on one planet, then you can go to that planet and then see all the shit that I built. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I hate ice.
Oh yeah, FUBAR's sitting the rum today because UPS is annoying. And it's not really...
Yes.
Okay, so UPS is a postal service.
Oh wait.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we had an issue where some of our one of our boxes that went to a customer was damaged, and then
Oh wait, are they the ones that had their videos online of like them just throwing things in the back of the truck all willy nilly, and then they lobbed them over the fences?
maybe. Anyways,
Probably.
the point of
Is
my
that not
story
better?
is I'm caught up between a rock and a hard place because here's the problem. We sent stuff to a customer. The customer got the stuff. One of the boxes was damaged, and in-transit product is missing from the box. There were 66 items in the box. 27 items that were in that box are missing.
Ooh, that's not good.
No, it isn't. I mean, the thing is that this is the first time this has happened in 2 years.
Oh, okay.
The problem
That's a
also,
good track record,
well, it's not bad. But here's the thing: the product missing equivalent to about $1,100.
Oh shit.
So it's not like something I can just write off.
Yeah,
The thing is that
definitely.
the box itself wasn't insured because for us to insure anything would be retarded.
Yeah, it'd be expensive as fuck.
Oh my god, you have no idea. I mean, just running the numbers today, if we insured everything we shipped this year, we'd probably be out about 120 grand.
Damn.
Yeah.
Jesus.
So we're not insuring all of our packages. In fact, and I probably should be saying this, we don't actually insure any of our packages because it's just ludicrous how expensive it is. Um, the thing is that it's a one-time thing that just happened. It's $1,000 that I really have a hard time writing off. It's just 40% of a goddamn box, which is just awful. But the thing is that what do you do?
True. Is there any? There's no way of holding the postal service responsible because obviously in the UK we have the Royal Mail and they can be held responsible for
well,
God knows how much was
UPS
lost.
is a private industry. It's not government backed. So
Oh,
I mean,
okay, fair
I'm right
enough
now
then.
trying to figure out with them what's going to happen with this. I mean, because it wasn't insured, I can maybe get $100 back. But I mean, that's kind of like a slap in the face, really.
It's something.
Yeah, something out of I lose $1,000 instead of $1,100. That's something.
Dude, would you rather have that or would you rather have nothing?
It's basically the same thing.
I'm British. We look on the bright side of anything and then just go sarcastic as fuck about it.
But I mean
Us-
it's a rock and a hard place. I'd love to be mad at them, and I am mad at them, but at the same time, I mean, I've been in that position where something bad happens and there's nothing you can really do about it. I mean, for all
Yeah.
I know, somebody could have taken the product. They could have just thrown it away because they didn't know any better. It could be lost somewhere in between here and the destination. Nobody knows. But in the meantime, I am out I'm out actually really. Yeah, no, I'm out $1,000 because I had to send the customer, what was missing, free of charge. They already paid for it. And the bad thing is that the customer now loses not only the product that they didn't get from the shipment, but they now also lost what they received because they had to have that for inspection.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, fair.
But I mean,
mustn't
they should be
happy then.
getting the box back, but it's just a real mess, and I'm hitting rum today, so.
Also,
Fair enough, I feel
Lucky,
it's just.
You might be thinking of either FedEx or the U.S. Postal Service. One of the
Yeah, I think
UPS.
it's FedEx is the one that lobbed shit.
Can't ship with FedEx because of New York.
I don't know what that means. Okay.
It's okay. It's tobacco related. You don't have to worry about it.
I'm not an American. I don't know your postal and such.
Most Americans probably wouldn't know about it either.
Okay, fair enough.
So yeah, what have you been playing, Lucky?
Well, I completed BioShock 2 Remastered. I got around to playing the remastered version of that. Still nowhere near as good as the game as the other two, but oh well. It's one of those annoying games where it's like, you're supposed to be one of the first lines of something. You are the prototype, as it were. And for some reason, the end result, the one that came after you, and well, multiple times after you, is somehow worse than you. And it's like, you're a Big Daddy prototype, but for some reason, you can run, unlike the end result Big Daddies. You can use plasmids, unlike the end Big Daddies. You can use varied guns. You can do
So then
tons of
what's
shit.
the point of calling you a Big Daddy, basically?
Exactly. You're not really a Big Daddy. You're just
Some
a
dude.
character they wanted to give a drill, basically. But it's a fun game, but it falls trap of here's a character you're supposed to care about, but they don't give enough of a story for you to actually care about her. Because you're supposed to basically give a shit about your little sister called Eleanor, and for the entire game I was just like, she's got a cute, like, positive atmosphere of the world, even though she's not really seen it. But I don't give a shit if she dies. It's like, I've taken care of little sisters, like other little sisters, to gather Adam. I give more shit about them than I do about Eleanor.
Well, yeah, because
kind
they're
of thing.
giving you something. They have a purpose. You're not told
Exactly.
care about this.
And
It
the one
has
thing
to
I
be
find really
natural.
annoying is at the end, not really a spoiler, but just a game mechanic annoyance. Eleanor's with you. She has the power of teleportation, basically, and she's like, you get given this plasmid called Call Eleanor, where basically you can throw it at an enemy, Eleanor will spawn and attack. And during one of these things, she's like, okay, can you clear the room, and then I'll open the door to the little sister or whatever. And out of nowhere, She just teleports in, pushes the button, teleports out, and it's like, well, why couldn't you fucking do that while I was attacking them? It's like, it's not like you need defending. You can disappear in the blink of a fucking eye.
Yeah. No, that's just one of the problems I have with Fallout 3.
Oh god, the main problem I have with that is the idea of you put a massive city in it, so then you make a lot of it cereal boxes.
I mean, not to make another Fallout 3 thing, but I mean, it's one of those things where, and this is another thing that I read about from 20sided.com. What's the importance of water when there are no farms? The people in cities don't really seem to need water. In fact, the only person that seems to need water is the guy that you constantly give water to, and nothing.
Purified
nothing
water, and he doesn't give you anything.
He just says, "Oh, thank you, man. I get to live another day." But then you give him water, and it's like he doesn't even seem to remember. So why the fuck
isn't
do
that
you
basically
give a shit
a representation of? Isn't that like a representation of all charity, though? You give them something, they say they're going to give it to someone else.
Yes and no. I mean, that really depends on the person.
My favorite thing I've ever seen talking about like when you give money or something to someone, it was a comedian. I can't remember his name. It's Steven something, and it's about a beggar on a street, and he's like, "Oh mate, can you give me some change?" And the people are like, "Oh no, you're just going to spend it on drugs or something. I would like to know where my money's going." And he's like, "You don't know where it's going. At least if I give the money to that man, I know where it's going. It's gone from my hand to his hand, and now it's going to the off license. Whereas if you give it to a charity, you have no idea where it fucking goes."
Well, it's one of the big reasons I avoid charities, because that often happens where a charity proclaims, oh yeah, like for example, to use Houston as a recent example, there were actually several charities where you would give money and it never went to help anybody in Houston.
Oh no, exactly. It happened in the UK that someone basically.
Oh, it happens all the time.
No, someone did a tally of every single charity within the UK, for example, the British Heart Foundation, Cancer Research, all of that crap, and they found out exactly how much of a pound was going to the actual cause. And about a majority of the time, covering most of the charities, out of every pound, only around 7 to 10p would actually go to the cause. Around 50p of it would go for marketing, 30p of it would go towards paying staff, and like all of this stuff. So none of it would actually go to the cause, but more the running of the charity to get money to get the cause.
Yeah, and it's all just to make you, quote unquote, feel better.
Yeah, I'd rather not. I'd rather
just
go
keep the money.
For me, it's like I'd rather go like because one thing that happened when I was at
Lady
university.
Alvira said one big GoFundMe scam.
Yes,
Yeah,
one big
much.
GoFundMe scam.
But most of these charities don't do the whole Coney 2012 and end up masturbating on a car.
It's like the Washington Redskins episode of South Park.
I actually just saw that today.
Hey!
Brilliant.
Yeah, what I do is I'd rather just give something to a person I know needs help. For example, when I was at Lincoln University, I had a student card which basically said you can get a free hamburger or cheeseburger from McDonald's. I just went and got the burger every day and gave it to the homeless guy on the corner. I was like, there you go.
I mean, that's more productive anyways, because, I mean, right now, my state, New Hampshire, has a huge opioid epidemic. So
That's what you get when you're dealing, FUBAR, God.
Well, I mean, if I was dealing, I wouldn't be living in a shithole apartment. Wearing,
Well, no, you've got to cover all of these lost products.
I mean, if I was, drug dealer, I wouldn't be considering actually running ads on my channel, which I'm half-heartedly thinking about doing. But no. Moving on, Lady A, what have you been playing? We're waiting because she's,
Lady Alvira said two thinga.
She said two things.
Lady Alvira said hatred.
Oh God, hatred, Jesus.
How is that? Because
It's boring, but I think it was one of those games that was just made for controversy. Like it would get attention, so people would get it. But in itself, a game, it's very basic and rather dull.
Lady Alvira said is actually awful fucking game.
Well, because my question is it more like Hotline Miami, or is it like that that black
Postal
and white
2.
shooter game? That
Fucking
was huge.
Postal 2 if it was overhead like Miami.
Postal 2 is fucking fun, man.
Yeah, okay, just take the killing, not the fun humor.
Right, but there was a black and white shooting game that
Lady Alvira said yeah, bootleg hotline.
Right, but what was that? No, what was that shooter game? I can't
The
remember.
over-the-head one that was black and white and you just kill everyone. Yeah, that
Yeah.
is Hatred.
No, Hatred is the Cyberpunk game. Wait,
Am I thinking of the wrong fucking game?
am I? Wait, what is the
me a
Cyberpunk
sec.
game?
Lady
I'm-
Alvira
I'm-
said nope.
Is it
Oh,
Hatred
shit, no,
or
you're
the
right.
Hatred?
You're right. Hatred is the black and white, boring ass game. What's the other one? The one that I'm thinking of, the Cyberpunk one.
Gotta
It
say,
just
the
came
cover of Hatred, he does look like a really big rip-off of
Oh fuck! What the
what's
fuck
his
is
name
that
from
called?
The Darkness.
Shit.
It's one game I really wanted to play on PC, but it turns out it was never put on PC. The Darkness.
Wait.
Really, really old game, but brilliant.
Oh, there's a lot of games that I'd love to see on PC, or at least love to see.
Lady Alvira said is so glitchy, bad controls, and some of worst AI I have ever seen. X3.
It's the X3 that gets me.
It's the local bus in my town, so I just went there rather funny. It's like, hey,
But
get
no,
an
no,
X3, okay.
I can totally understand that. I mean, the thing about Hotline Miami is, at least Hotline Miami was fun, and what's interesting is Hotline Miami actually got me to think about other games in a different light. Like, for example, Doom 3. What if, you remember, who here has played Doom 3?
Yep.
No, I can't say I have.
Lady A, have you played Doom 3?
Good game.
Lady Alvira said seen it.
Okay, so one of the things they point out early on in Doom 3 is that, a whole bunch of these people went crazy and then, started attacking their coworkers and whatever, right? So what if that was you the entire game?
What?
If you were actually, when you were
Oh,
out,
you were the person who was shooting everyone.
that all of the demons and whatnot, what if those were actually
People.
just people?
Ooh,
And then you were
interesting
crazy.
view on the game.
And the thing is that Hotline Miami actually made me think of that way. It actually made a different game better.
See, one thing
That's one hell of a trip.
one thing that someone pointed out to me, which I thought was very nice, is do you know the Bogart from Harry Potter?
No.
Yes.
Basically, it is a monster that its form, like what you see, is your greatest fear.
Okay.
So, like in Harry Potter, it's like Ron sees a spider, and Harry sees like Voldemort or whatever, or is it a Dementor, one or the other? And someone pointed out, it was like, wait, doesn't Stephen King's It take like the form of your greatest fear? What if It is actually just a Bogart and it's Muggles facing it who don't know what it is?
Okay.
And I was like, that's actually a rather interesting.
So are you saying that
idea.
Bogarts eat people?
Well, yeah, no, they all eat. I guess they don't all have McDonald's over there.
I don't know
Damn.
what a Bogart is, so I mean, I can't really answer this question.
Isn't that just like something walking out of a chest?
Stupid cousin. My name Bogart.
Alright,
name's
so-
Bogart.
So I actually started doing a single-player Let's Play of Destiny 2, which is why my actual microphone is a bit fucked up at the moment. Because I have to tell you, while the graphics and the gameplay is actually pretty okay, the story is blah, and getting it to run was just a fucking nightmare.
Hassle.
You have no.
It didn't look that good to me. It just looked rather boring. It looked like Halo.
You might as well.
wanted to be-
Honestly, if you were to ask me, would you rather play Borderlands 2 or Destiny 2? I'd probably say, what's the difference?
Is it just like another loot-based game? 'Cause that's what from
Yes.
looking at Destiny, that's what it seemed like.
Yes. I mean, there is. I'm not going to say that it's a horrible game. It's not a bad game, not at all. I
I'm not
think
gonna
that the
say it's a
story.
bad game.
Okay, so let me put it this way. The intro video, which I got no warning when I was starting up the game that was going to actually happen. This intro video, humanity thrived until it didn't.
Why did it say why it didn't?
That was what they actually said.
Lady Alvira said best writing.
Was it voiced by Cade 6?
I don't know who it was voiced by. I don't fucking care who it was voiced by.
Wasn't
I'm just
Peter
listening to that. I'm like,
Peter Dinklage
isn't
in the
that
first one?
isn't that like similar to like
he's the robot.
he was alive until he was dead?
See, that's one thing I
It was
remember
just-
from the first game.
it
It
just
got a lot of
bothered me.
news. It got a lot of news saying like, "Oh, Peter Dinklage didn't give like an emotional voice to it." And I was like, "Isn't he supposed to be like a lifeless robot, like with no emotion?"
They have Nathan Fillion as a robot in this one, which is kind of interesting. I wouldn't
Who's
have made
he?
him.
Am I supposed to know him?
Have you ever seen the show Firefly?
No, I've been told I have to watch it.
It's a good. Have you seen Doctor Horrible's sing along?
No.
Okay. So then you probably don't know who Nathan Fillion is. Anyways, he's an actor who was in Firefly. He was Captain Reynolds, and he was I don't remember the name, but he played the hero in Neil Patrick's Dr. Horrible sing-along.
The what's his name? The Castle.
Yes, I think he was in Castle. I didn't actually see Castle, but I know he was in Castle.
He plays Castle.
Okay, so yes, Castle. Castle is a robot in that.
Huh.
Which is weird, because well, here's the thing. That casting makes zero sense to me. Why would you put an emotional... Because he has a lot of emotion in his voice, which is great. Why would you cast that as a robot?
Because it takes true skill to have an emotional person play an emotionless robot.
But it makes no sense to me. You could have just made him a human and it would have been awesome still. Everybody would have loved it, but you made him a robot. It's just like... it's just weird.
Artificial intelligence.
See, here's the thing, Fireside Blake. I've never played Destiny 1 because I don't do console at all anymore. So...
No, I don't. I've got an Xbox 360, but I've not touched
shoulder
it in 2
shrug.
years.
Yeah, I really don't have anything to say about Destiny 1 because I don't have a PlayStation to play it.
Destiny 1... I've played the beta of Destiny 2. It's almost like basically a remake.
Well, I mean, you could say the same thing. Basically, Destiny 2 is Borderlands 2.
Yeah.
Effectively.
I'm yet to play Borderlands. I've got
boil...
both of them, but I've not played... I played part of the first one. I've met Claptrap, and he was adorable. That's all I remember.
He wears thin very fast.
I doubt that.
Oh no.
But
Are you
no,
okay,
Lady
Dagger?
Alvira said very, very fast.
Yes, I 100% agree. But no, I mean, the game is great. Looks great. Plays great. The controls are tight. Gunplay feels great. The platforming fucking sucks, but I mean, it's a first-person shooter. What are you gonna do? But the thing is that it fucks up anything that uses any kind of overlay.
You fucked up the TTS really bad.
Oh, is it TTS? Oh,
TTS.
I did put TTS. I did put that.
It's /TTS. You did it backwards. You have to do...
FUBAR said robot.
That's what you have to say.
Lucky said I am a robot.
God damn it! I'm turning on text. I'm turning this on for like a second, just so I can.
The whole reason behind this whole robot thing that you're hearing in the background for Lady A, and now Lucky is doing.
Oh no, I'm not going to do it anymore.
Are you sure?
I'm gonna do it once.
Lucky said yes.
Okay. Moving on.
NuclearNatalie said Gain.
Okay, that's great.
Okay, let's just leave it for later.
Let's let the person that actually should be using
Lady
it...
Alvira said, God damn it, you guys. XD.
I'm sorry, it's
XD.
the XD. It's the XD. I'm sorry. Yes. God damn it, you guys.
Lucky said, love you, B.
Let's say Bay, damn it.
I mean, it does have... It knows FUBAR. It knows Hexar somehow, which is kind of interesting.
You're no Lucky.
It knows... Well, I mean, but Lucky is an actual word.
I know, right?
FUBAR isn't. Hexar isn't. That's why Alvira isn't a word. So, I mean, text-to-speech is actually kind of interesting when you think about it from a mechanical perspective.
One thing I have been just installed and started today. Middle-earth: Shadow of Mordor.
Shadow of Mordor or Shadow of War?
The first one.
Because I played a little bit of Shadow of Mordor, the first one, and then I just felt like, why don't I just play Batman?
Because, sometimes you want to kill things and Batman doesn't kill things.
I heard the laugh!
That was my dog.
Oh.
Not funny, dog. Not
I
funny.
mean, oh, look. Again, the game looks great. I actually have the opposite issue with Shadow of Mordor that I have with Destiny 2, where there's too much story.
Oh, I can't wait
Plus-
for two games that should be arriving in the mail tomorrow that I'm going to buy, that I'm looking forward to. Well, they should arrive tomorrow, sorry, I've already bought them, pre-ordered them. Assassin's Creed Origins and Wolfenstein 2, which I cannot fucking wait for.
I really want to play Wolfenstein 2, but I ran out of my game budget.
Oh, I I
It ran out when that one lady wanted $1,000.
True.
What?
Yeah,
Nothing.
No, we're good. We didn't see
Yeah, no,
anything.
I set money aside in April for like 6 AAA
mean-
titles.
I mean, I'll probably buy it in November, but
I'm gonna it's gonna be on my channel tomorrow.
I have not completed Wolfenstein 1. I actually kind of stopped.
The New Order is so
I know!
good.
It's great! They have really great cinematography for it.
I was halfway through uploading it and the fucking file's corrupted, so I had to like just kind of stop it.
I stopped because I didn't want it to end up sucking and then me hating it.
Oh, it's such a fucking good game. The ending's so
know.
nice.
I've heard so many
fulfilling.
great things for it. I really want to play it through to the end, but it's one of those things where I don't want to end up hating it because I find something I don't like.
Oh, trust me, there isn't anything. I'm normally a stickler for pointing out errors in games, but it's like Wolfenstein New Order is just
Marines.
a all-round game. Plain up fucking that. Even the fucking
Painkiller.
they wanted to make a fucking like
Fear
end
3.
fucking cutscene. The Alien Queen was a 1-minute boss level with
my God.
3 enemies in total.
It
The
was
Queen
terrible.
was bashing her head against the window, and they forgot to make her fucking blood green. And it was like,
All you had to do was just have one person sit in one place, waving their arms like a retard, and another person hits buttons.
that's the thing. We didn't even have to. You didn't even have to wave your arms about. I just walked around and pushed buttons.
Well, here's the thing, and I don't think you actually even faced an Alien Queen in Alien vs. Predator, the first game of 2000.
You don't.
You don't. Actually, you only face... Well, no, you do if you're playing as the Predator.
Ah, okay.
You
That
don't
makes
if you're
sense.
playing as a human.
Yeah, but I can't imagine a human actually getting that far.
Well, you do fight a queen in Alien vs. Predator 2, but you do so in one of the exosuits, which is actually pretty fucking awesome.
That was a cool thing about Colonial Marines. I did like using the exosuit.
You tried to chase me,
But then again,
and then I ruined
that thing
it for
turned
you?
like a fucking 16-wheeler. That was shit.
Lady Alvira said good times,
Oh,
X3.
yes, X3, I agree.
Before the war.
Before the war.
So yeah,
Wow, you could get
uh,
with us for 2p.
I mean, I've also been playing Starbound, but I mean, you just heard about that from Nuclear, so...
I guess I'll have to install
no,
it.
there is another game that I've been playing. I've been playing, Planet Coaster.
I don't know what that is.
Do you know what Roller Coaster Tycoon is?
I know of it. I'm
It's
guessing you just make roller
Tycoon.
coasters?
Well, no, you make a theme. Do you know what the game Theme Park is?
Theme park or theme park world?
Theme Park.
Nope.
Okay, so basically you design and build your own, theme park.
Like theme park world.
I never played Theme Park World, and this is the first time of me hearing of it, so I don't know what that
Do you know
is.
Theme Hospital?
Yes.
It's Theme Hospital, but a theme park.
Well, then that's actually the same game. That's Theme Park. It may be called something different in
Yeah,
Europe,
probably.
maybe?
The one thing what I loved about Theme Park World is I always did the thing where because hedges were classed as a full object, no, you couldn't walk around them, so you
Yeah.
surrounded your park with hedges and then set the drink prices really high and
Yeah,
the
no,
fries
that's the same
really
game.
low,
That's
but
the
tons
same
of salt.
thing. That's
Great.
awkward. We're talking about the same game, but it has a different name.
America.
It was designed by Well, no, actually, that's
We don't.
no. It was designed by Bullfrog. So fuck you. That is America. I'm right in this instance.
We're all in the title because we want people to know it's America.
It was designed here, so we get to call it the right name. It was called Theme Park.
Who get you?
Ooh la la.
Oh, and I've also been playing Rocksmith.
How is that?
That's fun. That's really fun. I bought
There's
it
another
when
guitar
I
game on Steam.
First started, when I first started uni, because it was a case of I wanted to learn how to play guitar, but then Guitar Hero, but you actually learn guitar while playing. So I was like,
Yeah, that is Rocksmith, right? How is that?
It's good.
Because
Yeah.
I've always wanted to learn how to play the guitar, and I never did.
I took lessons and I stopped after about 10 because I wasn't really grasping it. But then Rocksmith, it's like really good.
Looks like guitar.
Okay.
What's my guitar?
Really,
just a
dude?
plain encore.
You're breaking
Oh,
that
and
out
I've also got,
again. There were comments about
Rockwood
that on the
107.
last podcast.
Just go around there with a spritz.
No,
bottle,
it
just-
wasn't the podcast. It was Cards Against Humanity, which if you haven't, go to Lady Elvira's channel and watch the damn thing that she has about the ball and the goat, because that is fucking hilarious. She has
That's
like
a
the
good
graphics
selling
and
point.
It is.
Things
It's
with the
fucking
balls and the
hilarious.
goat.
Lady Alvira said confirmed best video.
It is
the best fucking
seriously.
video.
I mean,
It's
if you don't go
brilliant.
see that, then there is something really wrong in your life and you hate humor.
Yeah, if you've not seen it, just unsubscribe from FUBAR, you know?
Seriously, just do it. I don't want to fucking know you. Just get out. Get out now.
Lady
Not
Alvira
allowed.
said XD.
I mean, seriously, if you can't find that fucking funny, I don't care about you anymore. You don't deserve.
We're
to
no longer
you don't-
friends.
We're no longer friends.
You blocked me on Facebook, and now you're going to die.
Damn it.
That's the wrong goddamn window.
Damn it! It is the wrong window.
It's the wrong goddamn window.
Lucky said ha 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 ha, I activate my trap card.
It's not funny because you said it on Discord. It's funny because you fucked it up on the goddamn
Lady
live
Alvira
chat.
said good job Lucky. Make me so proud. Lucky said thanks Dad.
We need an intermission
Oh,
for. We need
God.
an intermission for FUBAR.
You don't need an intermission. It's just too damn fucking funny that he fucked it up like that. And if you don't find that fucking funny, then I fucking hate you.
Lucky said I don't know what you're talking about Daddy.
You misspelled your.
That's really weird.
You
Don't-
misspelled your.
Please don't make.
No, I didn't. I
please
don't know what you are talking about.
Please don't make Discord say "daddy." It's
I
just
did put that
weird.
you. I just didn't put the apostrophe in it.
Yeah, that's fine. I understand what he was talking about.
Important.
Fucking hell, no.
Seriously,
The apostrophe is key.
apostrophe is key. You need to have the apostrophe, or it's wrong.
Whoa.
Wrong. No.
Lucky said.
Okay.
I was hoping you'd say apostrophe. It didn't.
But what, it's one,
NuclearNatalie said AE.
We're going off topic. Let's push back. Come on.
okay, so let's go to the main topic today. Loot boxes. Do you consider them gambling? Okay, so to kind of set
Lady
this up.
Alvira said yes.
Okay, so to set this all up, the ESRB. I don't know if Peggy has also ruled similarly that loot boxes are not considered gambling.
No, they're not, because you're not exchanging physical currency for them.
While I understand why Lady Elvira said yes, and while I can definitely understand, and I even myself originally began with yes, I also agree that they are not.
See,
Because, okay, so here's the thing.
I think they are, but I
to an
understand
extent.
why. I understand why they've classified them as, because obviously, why they haven't, because it isn't a physical exchange.
Here's the thing: when you have a loot box, everybody's a winner. So while starting, this is the starting point. This is the technicality. So on technicality, I can see how they're not. But also, let me ask you this: I know you play Yu-Gi-Oh, and you've recently been doing a whole bunch of stuff with Yu-Gi-Oh cards, right? Do you consider
Yeah.
the card packs gambling?
Well, no, but that's very different to loot
Is
boxes.
it? You get common items and rare items. Sometimes you get multiple.
Well, it depends on the game, because certain loot boxes, it will give you weapons and things you can use in games, and then some of them are purely cosmetic, whereas in
Well,
Yu-Gi-Oh, everything
well,
inside that packet
that's
can be
fair.
used within a deck.
That's fair. But I mean, for the most part, a lot of the games, at least that I know, that use the loot boxes, have a tendency to err towards the cosmetic side instead of the weapon side. Now, there are certainly
If it's
exceptions.
cosmetic,
There are certainly
no, it's
exceptions
not.
to
It's
this.
not gambling at all. If it's one where it's like, for example, Star Wars Battlefront, because a lot of controversy came out with the Battlefront 2 beta, which had loot boxes in it, which either gave you some form of cosmetic or shitty thing, or a weapon or an upgrade that can be used in game that can give you quite an advantage. To which then I will say yes, that's gambling.
Well, for example, again, I mean, is it? Because I mean,
Yes.
You're still getting something that you can use. It just might not be as useful as say, oh, I get this upgrade to Han Solo.
Oh, to which I would say
I mean,
it's not useful
don't
in
get me
game.
wrong. I hate loot boxes with an undying passion, and as a consumer, we should be doing everything in all of our collective powers to just stay the fuck away from them so they fucking die. But I wouldn't consider them gambling, because that's a very slippery slope.
I wouldn't consider it gambling if the thing that wasn't as good as the other thing was still used within the same thing. For example, a weapon upgrade and a cosmetic thing. The cosmetic thing does nothing to change the in-game experience, whereas a weapon upgrade would, to which I would consider it gambling.
Well, again, that's a very slippery slope. I mean, you get a Yu-Gi-Oh! Card pack, right?
Yeah.
What if you get everything that you already have except for one card that you really wouldn't use? Is that still gambling?
Yes. No. No. That wouldn't class as gambling.
Because here's the thing, and this is why loot boxes.
To compare it to a video game, for example, like getting one where it's a cosmetic thing and then you could win a weapon upgrade. It's like saying if I bought a Yu-Gi-Oh packet and instead of getting all cards, I got a few cards and a sleeve to put my card in.
Right.
Then it would be gambling.
But here's the thing, it's very hard to classify that and then not classify the other, and that's why the ESRB most likely decided to classify that as not gambling. And I have to agree with them on that, because I 100% agree with you that the Yu-Gi-Oh cards are not gambling. But if you start saying that certain loot boxes are gambling and certain loot boxes aren't, you're going to start making all loot boxes gambling. So it's a very slippery slope. I'd rather have everything be okay than nothing be okay. You know what I mean?
No, what I'd say is you'd have to make a distinct difference between loot boxes. If it was a loot box where it's all weapon upgrades, if it is all cosmetic, no, it is not gambling. But if it's one where it'll be a case of some people will have a clear advantage in a game and some people will just have something that will make zero changes to the game, that would be a gamble, because it's a chance of you are basically getting nothing, because that hat you wear on your character will do nothing in the game.
Yes, but I mean, then you have some games, and then again, this is the same loot box, which also Activision, in the biggest douchebag move, because they're fucking Activision and they can go fuck themselves, decided to patent the microtransaction market. Say something like they did that like earlier last week, and it was a dick move, and I hate them. Fuck Activision.
Isn't it the people who own Magic the Gathering have a patent on card games?
I think they might.
I'm pretty sure they do, because I know like Yu-Gi-Oh and everyone have to pay to them.
They did literally invent the card game, as we know of it, or at least how it's played. For most of them, not all of them.
Yeah.
That's a bit off topic, but more to be on topic. For example, okay, so MechWarrior Online, they actually do also have loot boxes. You have to pay for a key. And this is the same for Payday too. Now, in a lot of games, you have to pay for the key, right?
Yeah.
You have to pay like $2.50 for a key, or I guess in your case, Lucky, you have to pay what, like £2?
Yeah, about that.
But yeah, about that. So you get, for example, in Payday 2 or Killing Floor 2, you get a skin. Fine, whatever. MechWarrior Online, I mean, you might get a mech, you might get a weapon you will never use. You get like a tiny little laser. Technically, and this is how they kind of get by the gambling laws for just at least in the United States, where you actually get something even though you paid $2.50 for basically something.
Yeah,
the
physical action of them giving you something is them saying it's not gambling because you have actually got something.
And this actually also I'd actually like to hear from Lady Alvira how she feels about this, because she really wanted to be a participant in this discussion. Where do you stand? What would you like to add? We'll give her a moment, because she does have to type this out.
It's an interesting topic.
Lady Alvira said, "Talk while I type."
Okay, so because this also ties into where do digital products stand as physical products, because there's been a lot of muddy water there too. I mean, if you buy a skin, say on League of Legends, do you still have $20? Is that skin still worth $20 if you have to sell your account? where, or for example, your Steam account. Steam's an entirely digital service. Is your account really worth $7,000, or is it worth $0?
Technically, it's worth $0. And one thing I
Exactly.
find really interesting, in their terms and conditions, they're actually allowed to take back the games whenever they want. Developers can as well. There have been cases of games been put on Steam where they randomly disappear from people's libraries because they just didn't want it on Steam anymore.
Well, and here's the thing about that. That's because, and this is more of an industry thing, games have been moving away as games as a product, as games as a service. Which means games as a product is you buy the game, you own the game. Games as a service is you don't actually really own the game, you're basically effectively renting the game.
Well, that's fucking ridiculous.
It is ridiculous to me.
It's a part of the entertainment industry. It's not a fucking service.
Well, it's unfortunately it's the future because
Xbox Live's a fucking service. Steam is a fucking service. The things that are put on there are products within that service.
But the thing is that they're going to try to run it as a service because that's how they're going to stay alive as a company.
Next, they're going to put fucking Steam on a subscription service.
Lady Alvira said, I still think even cosmetic loot crates are still gambling, because that fancy hat will affect how people view you and might even give you advantage depending on game.
Well, not only that, but some fancy hats are more valuable than other fancy hats.
If you're in it to sell it, I understand the value of a cosmetic, but I wouldn't think it would make any change in game. Saying on how people would see you as a hat, I think it would have a brief second of, oh, he's got a nice hat, and then they'd still shoot you in the face, no different to anyone else.
Thing is that I've lived growing up with games where hats didn't exist, so I don't see hats. I just see people shoot or not shoot. Or people to shoot anyways, because I've played games where friendly fire is a necessity.
See, I play games which have skins. I play CS:GO sometimes. I've played games where obviously you need to have a really high level or spend a lot of money to get a character unlock. Like a different view thing. But I've never thought to them like, or even Call of Duty, fucking like the camo things in there. I know you don't buy them cosmetically, but you can normally see someone's status by the camo they have on their gun. I still don't think any more of them because if I have their gun, it's like, oh, I killed them, so they can't be that good.
Well, then here comes another part of that problem since you're mentioning Call of Duty. What do you do with all the stuff that you purchased for Call of Duty or loot box through Call of Duty when you go to Call of Duty 2? Fucking goes away. So, while I will agree with the ESRB, I think it really does lie with game developers that if you do loot boxes, that shit has to transfer. Because if I'm spending...
Lady Alvira said, let me use TF2 as example. Medics are going to heal that heavy with 3 unusuals, no matter how shit they are. It does depend on players, admittedly.
What?
What?
I don't get that.
I don't. Maybe I didn't have enough rum.
As for Call of Duty, no, I don't think it should transfer over.
I 100% disagree.
The Call of Duty, I think players should really be aware that there's a new one coming out each year, so you shouldn't really sink in a lot of money into a Call of Duty game when it hits around April, May, pushing that area, because you're going to get a new one in a few months anyway.
Okay.
But normally the Call of Duties have quite a strong fan base if they do stick to one particular game. For example, Black Ops 2 is still extremely popular. So it's kind of like if you see yourself playing it for this foreseeable future, if you think that you'll get your money's worth of what you, for example, like, if you buy I don't know, like a £5 add-on for a game and you're just like, will I get that £5 worth playing, then go for it. If you think that like you spend £10 on loot crates, you get stuff, and you think you've got £10 worth of fun using the things you got in the loot crate, then yeah, no, I see that's fine.
Well, I can agree with that to an extent. I mean, but let's take another game as an example. Titanfall.
Oh, I had the first one. I've not got the second one.
I've never played either. As far as I know, I don't know if either has loot crates or like cosmetic items you buy for the
first one doesn't.
First one doesn't? Okay, so then maybe that's a bad example. Never mind.
I mean,
but my point is that if you have... Okay, so actually, no. I'm sorry, what?
In Titanfall 2, you kind of get what are they? Fucking hot cards? I forgot what they're called. Wild cards.
Yeah.
And they can boost certain stats. But yeah, I don't think you have to pay for those. You can, I think. Let me double check.
Because I mean, one thing is that if you buy a cosmetic item and then there's like 3 years of development, and I understand that you don't carry over the cosmetic item because you're most likely on a different engine. I mean, just use Killer Ring 4 2 on this as an example, because you have cosmetic items on Killing Floor 2 that you do get through loot crates, while Killing Floor 1 didn't have loot crates. But I mean, with Call of Duty, where they have had loot crates for a while now, I mean, I don't see why they wouldn't actually include that in the other games. Outside of, they're technically on different engines, supposedly, and being developed by different people. But I mean, it's just...
I think it'd be a case of immersion and style as well.
It's dishonest to me.
Well,
that's why I don't buy Call of Duty.
I wouldn't say that. When something's for one particular game, you can't just say, "Oh, it has to carry on because it's the same franchise." It's like, no. If it's made for one game, you can buy things for that one particular game. Doesn't mean it has to be for another game. It's like saying, "Oh, I play fucking football," and then you're like, "I'm going to go into rugby." Well, I've already spent this much money in football. Does that mean I get it in rugby as well? It's like, no, if you buy it for one game, you have to be aware that you're going to be using it for that thing and that thing only. If you think it's going to carry on, then that's a bit naive purchase.
Well, no, that's fair. Kind of lost my train of thought there for a moment.
I always find loot crates annoying. I much prefer things like what Battlefield 1 does. It's like, do you want crates? Yeah, you can have crates. You get them by either playing the game and being good at it, or scrap items you have that you don't want, and it'll give you money towards these crates. These crates are purely cosmetic. I just don't think crates are any good if they have things that can actually alter in-game experiences.
I mean, I definitely agree with that, and that's a really shitty game model. And the problem is that that's the way that things are going to be for the next... Probably 4 or 5 years. Because
the last Call of Duty game, the figures came out and it was like they made something like over 2 times.
Oh yeah,
the amount of the sales.
It's the same thing with free-to-play games, like Dungeons and Dragons Online. When Turbine went free-to-play with it, they made an increase of profit by 300%. 300% is
free to play. I always find it a bit more difficult. I find if it's a loot crate scenario in a game you've already paid 40 quid for, that's already bad. But if it's a game where you've paid nothing and you want to buy stuff to further enjoy your experience, I don't see anything bad with that.
Right. I mean, that's definitely a difference. But what I'm saying, though, is that the pay to own, or really, I guess, pay as a service games definitely are trying to take that kind of model where they can make money on their games after they've been released.
Right.
So,
I'm gonna go take out my Dagger Cook, by the way.
Okay. So like, for instance, like, using Call of Duty as an example, you've already paid $60 for Call of Duty. Guess what? You're now also going to be fed, and something that I've just learned recently is that those loot crates that you're supposedly, not supposed to, you're supposed to get for free and not buy, they actually have algorithms inside the game to kind of to manipulate you into buying those crates. So you'll actually...
I wouldn't doubt that at all, yeah.
Well, that's what Activision just patented.
Yeah, well, Activision's a bit of a scummy company, so...
They are cock goblins.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, I know.
I just imagine your character
Lady
from
Alvira
sticks
said
with a little bag of dicks.
Wait. Lady Alvira said... I'm sorry, you said... yes. Activision are most certainly cock goblins.
When she says that, I'm imagining she says that in like a sassy... Girl, did you hear what Activision did? Yeah,
But no, I mean, the idea is that you're going to see somebody with an awesome rifle that is definitely not in your... I guess the best way to describe it would be the matchmaking group.
See, the one thing that really annoyed me with Activision Call of Duty loot crates is they really did push the whole, here, have some shit that will actually give you an unfair advantage in online play.
That's what I'm talking about.
It's like, here's a gun that will have lower recoil. It's like, no, that's not really fair. If it was just a cosmetic thing, or even if it was just like, if not fires quicker, but has more ammo, that's fine. But it's like, when it's like something like it increases the stats to give you a clear advantage, it's like, that's just not fucking fair.
Well, it isn't. I 100% agree. I wouldn't declare it as gambling. I would declare it as cocksuckery, but I wouldn't declare it as gambling.
I would.
Because, you see, here's the thing about gambling.
You're buying a loot crate to have a chance of getting one of these really good items.
Or you get a chance to get a really shitty item, but you still get an item. And then here's the thing.
It's like saying, if you went to a casino and you played at the table, it's at the end of every table they gave you a voucher for a free small fries. Does that count as gambling?
Well, on a technical standpoint, no, because you still get something even though you play. I mean, trust me, I don't like the idea as much as you.
Back.
But I really wouldn't consider it gambling. And here's why they can't consider it gambling. In the United States, if something has the gambling in their ESRB, AO, adults only. No more shelves on the stores. Can only buy it through specific retailers that deal in that kind of thing.
Huh.
So I'd rather games that have loot boxes not have the AO rating. Because that would be a fuck ton of games, wouldn't it?
True.
So I can understand why the SRB would declare it as not gambling, and I can understand people arguing the fact that it is gambling. Like I said, 2 weeks ago, when I first heard about them saying that, I was all about it, and then, I kind of read about it, thought odd about it, and I'd rather avoid that slippery slope where games start getting the adults-only title.
What I like about titles in the UK is it's shops that enforce the 18 rating.
Here's the thing about the United States. You're supposed to enforce the 18 rating with rated M games, which are supposed to be 18 and up. Well, they're 17 and up.
See, with Peggy, it's like they have 18 ratings, they have all of that stuff. But if you actually look at the law, it's actually, with Peggy, it's like they're actually just suggestions. By no way are they enforcing that you have to be a certain age, and it's only a few shops. So you can go into game in the UK and like be 15 and say, can I have an 18? They'll, about 9 times out of 10, sell at you, and then that one other person who didn't, just is because they didn't really fully understand what was going on.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, I think that the rating system should be enforced, even though I don't know about Peggy, but ESRB is not government enforced. That's completely 100% voluntary.
Yeah. I feel like they should enforce ages, though. I think
they should,
when a game is clearly...
I don't want to play my Grand Theft Auto 5 with a bunch of fucking 14-year-olds.
Well, no
offense, Wyatt.
It's gonna
I'm not
happen
14,
anyway.
man.
I know you're not. I know you're not 14, but I know you're a little bit older than that. But you understand what I mean.
Yeah, no, I do.
More because he's got like an age rating.
Lady Alvira said he's 13, obviously.
Oh yeah, he's 13.
Quit exposing me!
I think it'd be nice if underneath like the 18 rating, it actually did have a brief description, like they do with, for example, movie certificates. Because it'd be nice because like if it got to the point where they were enforcing it, where a parent would actually have to actively buy it for their child, and they see, and it was like with GTA, it'd be like extreme violence, sex, swearing, all of that stuff. It might actually help.
It would, and I mean, they used to. I haven't been in a GameStop in years, which is basically the equivalent of a game, because everything is digital now, and it has been digital for like the last 10 years. So I don't buy my video games in stores anymore because I don't fucking console. So, but they used to actually have on the boxes what the rating, why you would have that rating.
Yeah.
They still do.
Okay, so, but the thing is that, okay, you know what? This is actually also a good segue into another topic that I kind of wanted to discuss. The rating system. Some of the games... Okay, well, thank you for ruining my pause.
Dramatic pause.
There was a dramatic pause there, but I mean, I don't know if you've noticed, but there's been a lot of games that have been showing up on Steam lately that have declared sexual content, nudity. But what they really mean by this is girls in bikinis.
Oh, cover the children's eyes.
Cover the children's eyes. Which, hey, that's fair. But at the same time, I mean, there needs to be a bit more of a descriptive why you wouldn't want to have somebody that's 16 playing the game rather than somebody that's 18 playing the game. And again, I mean, look, somebody that's 16 that's mature enough to actually play the game and is okay to play the game, great.
Lady Alvira said woman in tank top.
Yeah,
how scandalous.
Exactly, how scandalous. Oh my god, she's wearing short shorts and a tank top. Oh my.
This is not safe for any children. You gotta put an
I
M rating.
sure hope she has a safe word. No. There needs to be a much more clear line. And there really isn't a clear line. And nobody has anything to comment about that, apparently.
I'm still getting over the whole safe word on something wearing a bikini.
That's right. Well, I mean, okay.
I'm just imagining FUBAR walking down the street, someone with like bare ankles, and just walk past you.
Yeah,
I want to
because
go get
apparently
a
FUBAR is
Evil
from the
Within for the-
Victorian era.
Yeah.
I'll have to get a Evil Within for the PS4, the first one. Not so long ago.
And again, this is the problem with their whole rating system as a whole. Take the Evil Within, Grand Theft Auto 5. They're both rated M games, but they're completely different. So, I mean, look, I understand from a consumer standpoint that it can be a real bitch to be able to tell what game is really, something that a kid could play or that, an adult would play, and how you would be able to tell. I mean, really the real solution is that you actually have people who actually play games and understand games work in the shops that you buy them in. But how do you deal with that in the digital marketplace?
Well, they put the age flags, or like the age thing, and then it's so
how
easy
well
to
does
get
that
past
work
that.
for you, Wyatt?
I was born in 1991,
You're older than me.
January 1st.
Exactly.
Lady
So-
Alvira said XD.
Yes, XD indeed. But again, that is my point. I mean, there's
I'm
no
a
way to
fucking
really, there's no real way to actually enforce this. So what can you really do? I mean, as a parent, as somebody that is under the age of 18, I mean, you can just put in 1991, January 1st, and then buy whatever the fuck you want on a digital marketplace.
Literally,
if
all
you
I
have the
do is
means.
change the year.
Again, that's... Thank you.
When I was
yes,
when
that's
I was
what you
under
do.
18, and I set my date as like 1903, and it still accepted it.
Okay.
I'm gonna buy this game for my grandson.
And then you're just
I
gonna really
agree.
just fuck up the metrics for the game.
There's nudies.
Oh my god, this game is so awesome. Even your grandfather's grandfather's gonna fucking play it.
My dentures are rattling.
God damn it. If you were born in 1903, you don't have fucking dentures anymore. You're lucky if you can even chew.
That's what the dentures are for.
You have dust.
Well, no, because you see, dentures don't work if you don't have the muscles in your jaw to make them work. Which, if you were born in 1903, at this point, you probably don't have. There's a machine that does that for you. It's called
But
a straw.
I actually got carded just to buy Evil Within.
Okay,
like,
well, I mean...
Like, it's understandable. Like, still, goddamn, I understand. It's a fucking
for the other
game.
week.
What do you get ID'd
I
for?
get ID'd all the time when I'm buying alcohol. It's kind of funny.
I've never
I
been
love
ID'd
it, and
by
hate it
alcohol.
for the same reasons.
Never been ID'd by an alcohol. I could get served at the pub when I was 16.
Yeah, but I mean, alcohol laws in England are different, though. I think
Yeah, you
the
got-
drinking age there is
the-
what, 17, 16?
18.
Oh,
It's 18 for everything: sex, chainsaw licenses, everything.
whoa, 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 whoa,
Hold the
whoa,
phone.
whoa, whoa! Chainsaw license.
Yeah, license to have a chainsaw.
Is that for noise or?
Lady Alvira said I want one.
I mean, we don't have chainsaw licenses in America, so that's
Yeah,
why we're
you've got
like.
a lot more. You've got a lot more deaths than we have. We
Well,
put
I mean, we
licenses
also have
on
a lot
everything,
more
and
people.
surprisingly, it's going to say we'll do it in a proportion, percentage-wise. It'll probably still outnumber us. But it's like
I don't know.
if we put licenses on everything or make things hard to get, you'd be surprised on the lack of people who actually need. It's like when you say, "Oh, you need a license to have a chainsaw."
But
Hardly
I mean,
anyone
it's
buys
not
chainsaws.
like it's not like you guys have like swarms of forests. So why do you have chainsaws? Shrubberies?
Well, we had to put a license on them because people had them and we lost all the forests. forests.
Forests?
I liked it the better way.
Foresti.
I liked it
That's
the first
plural
way.
of forest.
It was better the first. Just say shrubberies.
Shrubberies.
Shrubbery. Yeah. So I mean, that's kind of. It's kind of interesting to me that you have a chainsaw license, even though there's no reason I can think of in England to have it.
Well, it's like gardening. You know, like if you got trees in your garden and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, but I mean, you could just buy like a tree saw. I mean, moving your arm up and down like 17 times isn't gonna hurt you.
Yeah, this is Britain. We don't do manual labor.
I know you've mentioned this in like the following episode 5.
Yeah. But yeah, no, what was I talking about before I said chainsaw? Oh yeah, no, you have to be 18 to buy stuff. But yeah, no, what I got ID'd for. I've never been ID'd to buy alcohol. It's been great. But I'm 24. I've got a semi-beard going at the moment. I went to the shops because I was going to buy a ticket for the lottery. And they were just like, how old are you? I was like, 24. This is like, are you where you have to be over 16 to buy a lottery ticket? And I was just like, yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I was told that 8 years
greater
ago.
than 16. Can you math?
She was like, what year were you born? I was like, 1993. She was just like, do you have any proof of ID? I didn't. I didn't have my
Jesus
wallet. I only had change in my
Christ.
pocket. So she was just like, so I just held up my phone and I said, the background of my phone is me at my graduation. Would I be at that if I was 16? And she was just like, could have photoshopped that. And I'm just like, bitch, please.
Oh
just
my
give me a lottery
God.
ticket.
Holy shit. She really didn't want to give you a ticket.
That's because you're ginger.
No, so she thought I'm having some ginger a millionaire.
Nobody wants to admit that.
Get back in the sewers.
Jesus Christ. I mean,
Lady Alvira said proof of soul please.
yeah, while you're at it, seriously, I mean, while you're at it, why don't you give her a list of fears, your blood type, how tall you are, when
What
you
blood
come,
type are you
how many sperm you have? I mean, Jesus Christ.
How many sperm? At least 12.
The point has been
Standing
made.
by-
It's ridiculous that she's making you
Stand-
jump through all these
standing
hoops
behind
for
the
a
till.
goddamn lottery ticket.
Okay. It's like, you want a lottery ticket? Okay, that's £2, and please jizz in this cup for me, thank you.
Also, while you're at it, you need to take this cotton swab and just run it around your mouth so we can run a DNA test and make sure that you're not,
When you see those 6
Somebody
bottles
else?
standing in a line on the other side of the counter, you need to knock at least 4 of them down with this tennis ball.
tennis ball. No, you have to use a ping pong ball. Yeah,
What is this,
seriously,
black
man,
codes?
is this lottery like a real big payout? I mean,
It was like 125 mil.
okay, so she really needed to make sure that you weren't under 16.
No, I took the form that you have to give, like your punch number's the one you want. I just went to the shop next door and I was like, can I have a lottery ticket? And they're like, yeah, man, sure. And I was just like, yeah, I just got a deed across the road. And she was just like, what, are they retarded over there? And I was like, yeah, I guess so.
Okay. I don't get it. I don't. I as in I don't.
The other size wouldn't.
What?
Chainsaws.
Okay, sure. Yeah, chainsaws.
So that's why you want the new Wolfenstein game.
Well,
If I
okay.
had a
Well,
chainsaw in it, I'd be
well,
so happy.
We don't have the opportunity to ask this often. So, I mean, what about you, Lady Elvira? Do you guys have chainsaw laws?
Russia.
Well, I mean, yeah, you might as well ask. I mean, the UK has chainsaw laws.
The
I didn't
only
even know
law
that was
that
a
Russians
thing.
have are
You
to
guys
have
don't have
nuclear
trees.
energy.
Lady
Yeah.
Alvira said what a question to ask me, X3.
Yes, X3. Do you guys have chainsaw laws?
The fuck? They don't have laws for assault rifles. I'm pretty sure.
Did you know in Texas you can have a weaponized tank?
Lady Alvira said last time I checked no.
I mean, technically in America, it's completely 100% legal to own a flamethrower.
What is with you guys?
Bees.
It's a handgun,
There's a
not an
real.
arm.
Well, no. See, here's the thing. A flamethrower is actually classified as farm equipment.
For what? Vietnam?
Hey, mama, go farming.
Bees and ants.
You're not supposed to kill bees. They're disappearing.
Well, you're supposed to
Now
kill
I know
killer
fucking
bees.
why. You're doing your
Lady
fucking
Alvira said
flamethrowers.
good to know for future things.
We're buzzing.
I
Yes.
can just imagine that pause. She just looked around.
Bees are disappearing, and you guys are like, "Fuck it."
Whoa, whoa,
Using
whoa,
a
whoa,
fucking
whoa, whoa,
pesticide,
whoa, whoa,
is
whoa, whoa.
not good
First
enough.
off,
Let's get
first
a
off,
fucking flamethrower.
To clarify, it's honeybees and the good bees that are disappearing. The problem is that the bad bees, the Africanized bees, the ones that are very aggressive and sting you until you die, because they don't lose their stingers, those are kind of killing the other bees, as well as some blights and some other things, but those have been slowly creeping up in the Americas. But
So when it's a regular bee, it's fine, but when it's an African bee, it's suddenly killing people.
the killer bees... Dude, do you know much about killer bees? Those things are fucking scary.
History's repeating itself.
Oh, so all Africans are killers now.
Yes, yes, yes. Make this about race.
Bro, you brought
Image
race
of
into
a
it. I
killer-
was talking
killer
about
bee.
Well, that's
Jesus!
what it's called.
Lady
Yes.
Alvira said beist.
bees.
Okay.
Just be yourself.
Oh,
No, no.
fuck,
So,
dude.
so,
I can just-
do you even know about the killer bees, Lucky?
Well, we didn't really have that over here.
Well,
Well, question about your news stations. Why do you guys always make everything the end of the world? Have you seen the news comparisons between Ebolas?
Well,
It's great. Like every
yeah,
other country, they were just like, it was like, oh,
I,
these
I,
people have
I,
Ebola, they've been quarantined, and then
there is
it's
a
like
very
America. It's like
simple
we're all
answer to
gonna
this.
die.
There's a very simple answer to this. Do you know what ratings are?
Yes,
That's why.
we were talking about them earlier.
Yes, because here's the problem. The internet is giving the news industry, both paper and television, basically a proctology exam in the most uncomfortable fashion. Uh, and they are on their death rows, and in the next 20 years, they're probably not going to exist. This is why YouTube is advertising YouTube Red and saying, oh, yeah, you can get NBC, ABC, you can get The Walking Dead, all of this shit if you subscribe to us, because they know that they are dying, and there's nothing they can really do.
Yeah, no, especially with press, because obviously the demographic's dying, and there's no younger demographic to fill it.
Exactly. Because
Yeah.
let me ask you this: would you rather watch something on YouTube, or would you rather go to the television and turn it on and then watch 22 minutes of show and 8 minutes of commercial?
True.
I mean, look. I know that you're in the ad business, so that's a little bit biased of a question. But at the same time, I mean,
Well, actually, no,
22
dude.
minutes.
Everyone who works in advertising hates adverts. I don't think I've ever met a creative in the ad industry who says, "Oh, I like adverts." We all hate them.
Everybody hates advertising.
90% of
The
it's
thing is that it didn't used to be that way.
oh yeah, it was always that way.
No, because the way that they this is actually probably more of a 19. I want to say starting in the 70s, because before that they actually had the advertisements as a part of the show. For example, have you ever seen the movie The Truman
Yeah,
Show?
no.
I'd rather
I'm
have
aware of what the
that.
ads used to be like. Yeah.
I'd rather have that than the way that ads are now.
Yeah, but quite a lot of people say if you put ads within a show or something, it's always classed as selling out.
It is. But would you rather watch 30 minutes of show or 22 minutes of show and 8 minutes of advertising?
Well, no, well that's the thing. In America, ad breaks tend to be 8 minutes up to 15 minutes, but in the UK, there's a law saying you can only have 4 minutes of ads.
So then I have a question then. Do they break your show up into 12-minute parts?
It's well, it depends on the channel. If it is BBC and that, there are 0 ads because we pay TV license, which basically says no adverts. We're giving them money already. When it comes to things like Channel 4 or anything on Sky and that, it's normally like a 20 minutes of a show, 2-minute break,
Yeah,
another 15
I'm not
minutes,
counting
2
anything
minutes.
that's government paid, because I'm pretty sure that PBS, which is government funded, doesn't really have too many ads on it. And that if they do have ads, they're in between shows, and it's usually for PBS or PBS affiliates. But I mean, here with television, and I have to say it's been a long time since I actually have watched a TV show on a TV, because I fucked off of cable like 6 years ago. But it used to be you had your opener, commercial, about 10 minutes of show, commercial, another 10 minutes of show, commercial, the closer, commercial.
Yeah.
And they split it up so that way you didn't watch it 8 minutes straight, you watched it in like 2-minute bits.
Yeah, I don't really have any problem with adverts. It's just the majority of adverts nowadays
They
are
suck.
wallpaper.
They suck.
I like
They
adverts that
sell
are
you
clever.
things you don't really care about. I already have a car. Why do I give a fuck about a Kia when I already have a Honda? You know what I mean? It doesn't make any sense to me.
Cars are one of the interesting things when it comes to advertising because they want to show off the car, but a lot of people don't really care what a car looks like. All that people care about is, does it get me from A to B?
Exactly.
So then you have to think, okay, well, how can I make this one brand say that without it applying to any other brand? It's like making an ad for Ford, and it's like, okay, if I took the Ford logo off of it, could I put a Kia logo on it? You've got to try and make it so unique to Ford that no one else can use it, and it's a bitch.
Like the Star Wars ads that they had for... Exactly. That's how forgettable they are.
Well, it tends to be, for example, each try to give themselves things like Ford pride themselves in technology, Volvo, I think, a safety, It's like each have got their own thing. But I've always found it weird that Ford aren't the ones that are
VW,
safe,
German
because Ford are the
engineering.
ones.
That's
Ford
all
are
I
the
know
one
about
that-
VW.
Yeah, no. Yeah, Volkswagen are all the engineering.
Which
But
I
yeah, no,
don't
each have
give
got their
a
own.
fuck.
It's very difficult. Like, I've had car brands come up to me and they're like, "We want something unique." And I was like, "And you're giving me a week? Fuck off."
Lady Alvira said, I remember YouTube giving me ad for something that was only sold in America. Don't even remember what it was.
Was it
X3.
peanut butter? Yes, very X3. Was it peanut butter? Because apparently that's an America only thing. Or
What's
America's
the ad
only.
that came out today? There was an ad that came out today at an agency I used to work at, and I just found it really funny, just because it doesn't really show off the product really at all. It's a porridge company, so they decided to do Goldilocks and the Three Bears kind of advert, but instead of three bears being physical bears, it was three bears as in gay bears, which is just like big hairy guys.
Yeah, I
It-
mean that's
it
kind
was
of funny. It's a
interesting.
good play on words, but I mean at
No,
the same
it was
time,
it was a funny advert, but it was just like a case of, where's the porridge? All I'm seeing is a few bears going, "Yas, queen." Just like, it's all well and good. It's very funny.
it just sounds like a bad porno.
Three,
What kind of
three
porridge-
bears,
what
one
kind-
porridge.
Goldilocks and the Three Bears. Something is just right.
I would have done that at Christmas, because then you could say stuffing the stocking, but
Lady Alvira said I'd watch it.
Well, what about
I'll
you
link
in
you
Russia?
some
I mean,
Goldilocks porn,
how's the
maybe.
advertising situation for you? Because I mean, most of the ads that I see are just completely irrelevant to me.
Lady
I do know
Alvira
something.
said just as bad.
I know something about Russian advertising that's fucking hilarious, because Putin had to release a statement on it. It was fucking brilliant. They have a soccer association, or not soccer, or football, whatever kind of thing, and they created a brand new mascot for it, and they
Okay.
paid so much advertising for it. It was hilarious, and in the end, it ended up being like some weird fucking husky fox thing, and obviously, when the internet found out about it, especially when the furry side of the internet found out about it,
Damn it.
they all started drawing erotic pictures of said fox.
Lady Alvira said yeah.
Yeah,
I
and
don't
to
know
the
what
point-
this is, and
Well, basically, they had a fox mascot, and a lot of fairies on the internet thought it'd be funny to draw erotic pictures of said fox, because I don't know, it gets them off or whatever. And
Well, 'cause
it
they're
had to get
furries
to the
or
point
whatever.
where the Russian government had to release a statement saying, "Please stop posting erotic pictures of our fucking fox thing."
Rule 34, man, you can't stop it.
It was so cringy but hilarious.
Lady
like,
Alvira said I remember seeing that.
If you want
XD.
something funny, what's something funny when it comes to
indeed.
mascots? Go onto Twitter. A majority of mascots for like Frosty's tiger and all of that, and Cheeto's cheetah, they all have Twitter accounts. So as if the character was a real person and he tweets or she tweets.
Yeah.
And quite a lot of furries message them saying like, you're hot, and they instantly get blocked. But look up the Cheeto's cheetah. He's the only mascot to ever actually use it to his advantage. Like, someone will say like, "Oh my god, you're so hot," and he'll just reply and retweet going, "Oh baby, I know it." Just
Oh my god. Oh, I think it goes a long
Did you
way.
send him a picture of flaming hot Cheetos?
That would be the correct response. Oh baby, you know it, and then you have nacho cheetos.
And,
I mean, it sells itself. And then it makes the person feel like an idiot, like without making them feel like an idiot.
yeah.
Wow, we are so off topic.
I don't care. It's funny.
No,
Lady Alvira said next level advertising.
yes,
If you want next
erotica
level
advertising.
hire me.
But
My
I mean,
portfolio is linked.
They
Wink.
already did that. They already did that with shit. Old Spice has done that. Shit, everything's done that. I mean,
Old
fuck,
Spice adverts were
Devour.
a bitch to film.
Huh?
Have you seen the Old Spice adverts and the actual film behind it? Because it's all done in one shot. Like, they don't stop the camera.
You mean the ones from like the early 2000s?
Yeah, the one where it's just like, look at her, look at me, look at him, look at me, look at him, look at me. It's like that one.
That's
It's like
actually
the whole
really
thing where
impressive. I have to
Yeah,
say
no, the
this
entire
about Old
thing's done in
Spice.
one shot.
They understand advertising. They get it.
No, it was done Saatchi & Saatchi, New York, I think.
Yeah.
Really good agency. They've done some great stuff.
But I mean, that's the thing about it, and I'm sure that you're in advertising, you know this, but getting people's attention is stupid hard. Because a lot of things are extraordinarily boring to the point where you'd rather pull your own teeth with a rusty pliers.
See, one thing that was going to be really interesting is because quite a lot of old media companies, like ones that have solely relied on press advertising and TV advertising, have suddenly realized, oh yeah, the internet's a thing. So they come up to you and they're like,
it's
okay,
too little,
can you
too late, man.
Well, not really. You'd be surprised on the results we can actually get. We had someone who's just like, oh, can you make us some YouTube ads? And normally it's a case of, oh, you just make a TV ad and put it on YouTube. It's 30 seconds. But YouTube have put across a statement saying we're going to get rid of non-skippable ads.
Yeah, YouTube's been really weird lately.
Yeah, no, they say they want to get rid of non-skippable ads. So to us in agencies, it's like, okay, so we need to make an advert which people don't want to skip within 4 seconds.
Have you guys seen the ad that you want to watch because it's better than the content that you're about to see?
Well, you'd be surprised. Like, for example, the Poopery and the Squatty Party. Have you seen them?
Yes.
No, because the thing
the
thing I was referencing was an actual ad that has been running on YouTube for like
The
last.
Squatty Potty.
No, it's been an ad for a car on YouTube that has been running for the last. I'm sorry.
Is it the one where it's like, I'm here in my garage?
No, this is literally how it goes. We're going to show you an ad that you're going to see, and it's going to be better, that you might think is better than the thing that you're about to watch. That is the ad.
I have seen that, because they also did one where it's just like, it's a banking one, and it's just like, that's right, skip the ad. The bankers and the fat cats won't want you to see it anyway.
But you see, that's at least interesting. That at least has a little bit of edge to it. But you're not going to skip this ad because it's the best thing that you're going to see, even though it's taking place in the thing you actually wanted to see, and we're going to annoy you for the next 15 seconds to tell you about it. Without actually telling you about it.
You just gotta be clever about it.
Well, yeah. Okay, so
I think my favorite ad campaign, I think I told you about this, would be Samsung Galaxy.
No. This I'll have to show you after the podcast. But there was this product called Head On, and what it was is it was
apply directly to the forehead.
Yes. Did you see the one with the black guy?
Annoying slogan.
That was the best thing
Yes.
ever. That would sell me something. I never tried the product. I would never buy the product. But that's how you fucking advertise a goddamn product nobody wants. Head on, apply directly to the forehead. Head on, apply directly to the forehead. Head on. I hate your product, but your product is I hate your ads, but your product is amazing. It was just said with such conviction that you felt what he was feeling about the goddamn product. You knew, you experienced.
Lady Alvira said, oh yeah, I remember that now.
And what's interesting about that is I think they got sued because they didn't work at all. So, like, they had those ads that were actually pretty goddamn decent for like 2 years, and then they were gone. Whole company, gone.
I think my favorite ad will always be the Samsung Galaxy one. It takes place in, I swear I told FUBAR about this. It's basically, there was a booth set up in a train station with the Samsung Galaxy in it, and you had to stare at the screen.
Oh yes, you did in the painkiller playthrough that nobody's seen yet.
Yeah, no, you had to stare at it for around, I think it was 9 hours. And it was like if you stared at this phone for 9 hours, you got the phone. But they did so much to distract you, like fires going off around you and gunfights and all of that stuff to try and get you to look away.
So I just swapped back to the chat for the podcast, and I have to say I do like the semicolon 2 and the semicolon 1, and then there was the Thunderbirds with the emoticons, which is pretty great.
Yeah.
Just commenting on things that have already happened that I wasn't paying attention
Lady
to.
Alvira said you are welcome.
Yes, thank you. I had Discord up because I'm trying to pay attention to too many things at once. And that's quite hard to do when you're on a bunch of rum. Silence.
Lucky said I don't like it when daddy drinks rum.
What's wrong with rum? Rum, 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 rum.
Lucky said he gets mad.
No, he says, let's go play golf with hoops. Because that was fun. Ha, 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 ha.
Lady Alvira said, and then mommy gets glad. Lucky said he broke my Lego Death Star.
Wait, do they actually have a Lego Death Star?
Yes.
Is it like $400?
Yeah.
Huh. Par for the course, I guess. Thanks, Lego.
Lucky said, it's awesome.
Used to be awesome to my dad.
Did you just say, it's awesome? With the robot voice? You did. You said, it's awesome with the robot voice. What is wrong with you? Oh, God.
Lucky said, Lady Alvira said, made me almost choke.
No. Okay, so why you're hearing the robot voice? We've been trying to figure out a way for Lady Alvira to participate in podcasts, and
Lucky said, machine guns go rat-a-tat-a-tat-a-tat-a-ta.
No, first off, hold on a minute. I have to. Somebody else talk while I fix this.
Lady Alvira said NuclearNatalie said
What is it?
Lucky said bitch please. FUBAR said no they go rat tat at.
So anyways, we've kind of been pretty bad.
Lucky said by Felicia.
That was oddly pronounced. I mean,
NuclearNatalie said ag.
Holy shit! You're gonna go
It's so good. I used to fuck with this a lot.
NuclearNatalie said ag.
I'm sorry, viewers.
Lucky said my dad's heart flatlines and went FUBAR said
I don't know.
We need to
Lady
end this
Alvira
story.
said this is my fault, and I am not sorry.
Why would you? be?
NuclearNatalie said ajoy Lucky said thanks for watching.
Yes, thank you for watching, and also I'm sorry.
Wait.
I really don't know what to do at this point with them.
Lucky said eat your veggie tables.
Fuck it.
NuclearNatalie said no you're not FUBAR. STFU. Lucky said will. Fuck.
The veggie tables thing. I mean, do you have a table made out of carrots?
NuclearNatalie said ag.
Just trying to make the animal this noise could make.
Lucky said buy them at IKEA.
Okay, it's not funny anymore. Oh man. So yeah.
Lady Alvira said I am going to rip your ass from through the internet.
Holy shit.
Lucky said kinky. NuclearNatalie said okay daddy see.
We did not on the same page.
Somebody needs a safe word.
Why it ruins the fun.
Ooh.
So yeah, this is what the podcast has now devolved into.
Lucky said safe word is veggie tables.
Okay.
Hurry, end it. We're gonna kill everyone.
Veggie tables. Look, you gotta give the AI of that or the reading or the codex for that some credit. That's pretty fucking impressive.
It's just me can't fucking spell.
Veggie tables. Oh man.
And on that note, don't forget to like and
NuclearNatalie
subscribe.
said sauce. Raw sauce.
Okay, great. So yeah, on
No,
that note,
I
I
have that
mean,
somewhere.
I think we've broken them, guys. I'm sorry.
Give me a sec.
So on that
Give me a
note,
sec. Give me a
so-
sec.
I'm giving you a sec. I don't
Trying
really
to
have a
somewhere.
closing monologue.
Lady Alvira said rip rip in rip.
Great! XD.
Lady Alvira said XDD.
Wait, would that be X double D?
Raw sauce.
Well, I'd like to thank everybody for bearing with us on this podcast.
Just sauce.
This train wreck.
No ketchup.
I don't know what Lucky's doing, but
Raw
okay.
sauce.
Have you not heard that song with the really cheesy chorus line where it goes?
The thing goes grrrrah, pop, 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 pop. Skinny kid pop, pop. And the boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom.
I have not, no.
Look at your nose. Take my tricks by force. Nose long like garden hose. Yo.
Great! So, hey! Thanks,
2 plus
Joel.
2 is 4. -1, that's 3 quick maths.
Does anybody have anything to close with?
Dear God, help us all.
Please
Yes.
subscribe.
Please like, comment, or subscribe to all of our channels so we feel better about ourselves, or some such.
Yeah, I only
Or
have 2
not care.
views because I can't
One or
edit.
the other.
I'll care. I'll buy you chilies.
Wait. Chili's is it the
shit,
pepper,
hit my
or the
microphone,
restaurant,
my bad.
or
The restaurant.
food? Oh. Pass.
No, I'll make the deal better. Denny's.
Lady
Pass.
Alvira said double pass.
Yeah, I mean, Denny's is one of the only restaurants that you can actually just order by, like, pointing at a picture. It's not a restaurant that's made for sober people.
Do you guys like Waffle House?
We do not have Waffle House up here. I am aware what Waffle House is. We just don't have them.
I'm sad.
It's
What's
happening?
a southern regional thing. The Waffle House.
Waffle House.
Waffle House.
Oh,
I
they're
don't know
so
what
good.
Waffle House is.
Of course
It's a
you
house
don't. You
made out
live
of
in England.
waffles.
You
They
don't
do
have them
waffles.
either. They serve waffles and things.
Lady Alvira said waffle who's.
Portus.
Waffle House.
And the thing goes black.
Or
Remote control.
yep, doesn't work without the password, bitch.
FUBAR said waffle house.
Jesus. People are trying to be as sassy as possible.
Yeah, I've been a little bit agitated with Destiny 2. Sorry. So this is going back to it. So I've actually been trying to record like Destiny 2 for my channel and whatnot. Apparently the problem with my microphone has been going on since last night because I recorded 4 hours and
Are you still live?
huh? What?
Oh, we still on the podcast?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought we finished it.
We were about to, and then we continued.
Your
No,
fucking
so-
memes made it continue.
Thank you for derailing me. No, so I tried recording 4 hours of Destiny 2, and I succeeded in recording the game, but apparently my microphone has been fucked for a short while. So
Buy
I
a
have
new
no...
one.
Huh? Well, I'd love to. But
What mic do you have?
I have an Audio Technica.
Which one?
Give me a moment. I have an AT320. I'm sorry, 2035.
Oh, you got the
Sorry,
same
it's
as me.
Yeah, it's across the room. It was even with glasses. It's
Good
a little too
microphone.
far. It is a good microphone if it actually registers your voice, which at the moment and when I record 4 hours, it didn't. So
Oh.
I have 4 hours of footage that I am going to release without me actually speaking. So
Oh,
that's-
why don't you just re-record it?
No, what you do is you label it
Well,
gameplay.
okay. I thought about re-recording it, but I don't want to.
No, FUBAR, here's the fix. FUBAR, here's the quick fix. Just label it as a gameplay.
Well, I mean, I'm going to release it. I'm just going to have an intro.
Lady
where,
Alvira said 4 hours of footage.
up 4
Lady A edition.
Yes, I could advertise it as that. But I really also don't want to use Microsoft Sam to narrate myself, so I'm just going to have an intro where I'm going to say, hey, yeah, guess what? I tried to record this. I thought my microphone was working. I apparently restarted my computer after updating the drivers, thinking that would fix the issue with launching the fucking game. But it didn't, and the microphone got fucked, and I didn't realize it. So I'm not replaying it. You're going to watch it or not. I don't care. Whatever. I'll fix it later. Sorry, first 8 episodes are going to have 8 episodes are not going to have me talking, which probably is for the better. Well, it's just going to... I don't know why you're scoffing. I mean, it's just going to be... it would be 8
I'm
hours...
looking at Instagram.
Oh. Well, I mean, it would be 8 hours of me just commenting on what I'm seeing, which you can also see, so why the fuck am I talking about it? I'm just trying to fill the dead air of things happening. It's just more interesting to just not listening to me and then just watch me play the goddamn fucking game like everybody else.
Oh, angry.
A little bit. I'm a little pissed about it, and I'm a little pissed that my mic doesn't work. So with that,
Yeah.
I'm going to end the podcast. Hey guys, thanks for watching. Lucky will be hosting the next 2 ones, so definitely like, comment, or subscribe to his channel. You'll find it in the description. You should probably subscribe to all of our channels because there's no reason you shouldn't. We all put out quality content for you. Goodbye.
Lady Alvira said laters guys.